2 of her teeth taken out.
Still, though, I
there were
mean,
supposed to be 4 taken out,
yeah.
and then as well as some wisdom teeth. But the scheduling for all those things, it's kind of still happening. Because apparently you can go to a dentist and say, take all the kids' teeth out. And then eventually, when it takes a long time, they'll go, hey, why don't we not take all of them out today?
Yeah. Well, pass along my regards. That can't be a pleasant thing to go through.
It's not, and I will let her know. She is not feeling super. So, that is part of it. I was thinking about still yelling for her, and by that I mean not because I'm a jerk, but because I keep forgetting that I'm not supposed to. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to yell for her. I'm going to ask her what it's like to get her teeth out. Oh no, I'm not, because I already said that I wouldn't. So yeah, how are things, Ben?
Things are good.
Good.
How are your things?
Good. My things are all right. Can I ask you a favor?
What's that?
Can you monitor Twitter to see if anybody writes in?
Okay.
Because I did that thing where I was like, what should we talk about? Which sometimes people engage in, sometimes they don't.
Are you recording?
I am recording. I've been recording this whole time. Ha ha.
Ha ha.
I started pretty much right when I called you.
Paul Goody.
Ben Lawrence, how's it going? So
good. How are you?
That was the false start. That other part.
Yeah. Our call and response.
A little peek behind the scenes.
That little call and response is how I line the audio tracks up in post.
Okay, great. So maybe this will be a 2-minute longer episode than one would think, or maybe the podcast is just starting now. We'll find out when you listen to it at home.
So we actually do have a bit of listener response this week.
Really?
We actually had it last week, but we didn't receive it until after we had recorded last week's episode. But I don't know if you recall, the week before, during the yelling for Betty time, I asked Betty if she had any questions that she wanted to ask the internet.
Yes.
And the question that she asked was, how you doing?
Well.
So we got a reply to that. Your friend and mine and friend of the show, Alex King, replied, and he says, doing okay.
King.
Yeah.
Hey! Well, to Alex King, glad to hear you're doing okay, and I will pass that along to Betty so that she knows as well. Well, that's great. And is that word from Alex King about how he's doing is the sum total of our user interaction at this point?
Indeed, it is.
Well, hey, a man who is drowning in the desert, as it were. We are lousy with input from our fans, more so than we've had in so long. Let's really drag this out. So Alex King is doing okay. That's the name of this episode, Ben. Name of this episode, Alex
King is doing okay.
Is doing okay. So let's talk just a little bit. How much do you know about Alex and his life, Ben?
Very little, since he moved away.
And he moved to?
He moved to Bellingham, or the Bellingham area.
Bellingham area. Yeah. I can tell you that in the Bellingham area, the folks who do Liminal Earth are based out of Bellingham.
Liminal Earth?
It used to be Liminal Seattle. It's sort of a ghost hunting kind of, let's see what sort of weirdness around. They're my kind of weirdness. Not just, there's Bigfoot here, but also like there is a flower in this parking lot that has been alive for 15 years. just general weirdness, not
Gotcha.
just specific
Not
supernatural stuff.
just cryptozoology.
Right, exactly. Although, cryptozoology plays a part, it's not the whole thing. And they have there's I believe it is a taco place in Bellingham that opens up at 3 a.m. It starts being open at 3 a.m.
Pretty choice time for some tacos, I'll tell you, especially in a college
Yes.
town.
So I'm wondering if Alex King knows about that. And he's doing okay. Now I wonder if he's really doing okay. It seems genuine to me. It seems like a genuine answer.
Yeah,
Because if he wasn't doing okay, he wouldn't have to say anything.
exactly.
He just wouldn't respond. So I think that we can agree that Alex King is doing okay. Now, I think we might have talked about this as well. When was the last time that I met Alex King?
I have no idea. When was the last time?
Obviously, Alex King associated with Annex.
Yeah.
So could have been at the very last spin the bottle, which would have been a Friday before I left.
If nothing, I don't know the last time you saw him, but he ran Weird and Awesome when we performed on it. Remember when we did that Mutt and Jeff improv during Weird and Awesome?
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I forgot about that. How did that go, Ben? Can you?
It didn't go very well, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I usually the things that we do that I forget are the ones that had some problem with them, and then it's just like, whoop, there we go.
Yeah.
Haha, out of the brain. Don't worry about it. Did we have a like a tech for it where I would have interacted with Alex directly?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, so
do you wait? Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Alex King is?
This is the okay. So you've honed in on my. I think I know who Alex King is. Now here's the thing. Do I know him as Alex King? Quite possibly not. He occupies there's a name Alex King. And have we talked to Alex King on the podcast?
No.
No.
No. I haven't spoken with Alex in quite some time, actually.
All right, let's get into it. Alex is male identifying.
Yeah.
Is he extremely tall?
Yeah. Well, what's extremely tall? He's probably in the low 6s.
Does he
maybe
have
in the mid
hair?
6s? He does not. He has a dark beard.
It's a dark beard. What is his hair then? Bald?
Yes.
Does he wear hats?
Mostly.
Does he have glasses?
Yes.
You see what I have an image of him in my head.
If
so
you saw,
I think I do know him.
Saw a picture of him, you'd probably go, "Oh yeah."
No, and this is my point. And Alex, hopefully, you're listening to this. You know that I know who you are. This is not. I would like to say that this is possibly an. I was talking to the internet about this. I normally, and this is a problem of mine. I normally bring up being autistic in negative connotations. Oh, maybe this is because I'm autistic. Yeah. This problem. I never talk about how, maybe everybody loves me and thinks I'm a cool guy because I'm autistic. But it can't be, only the bad stuff, right? It has to have something to do with the good stuff also. I would have to think. Maybe.
Well, I mean, that's something for you to explore.
Anyway, the reason I was mentioning this is because someone will come up to Betty sometimes and they'll go, "Oh, Betty," and like give her a hug, maybe even, and she'll be like, don't hug me. What?
Yeah,
Um,
same.
and then she'll be like, yeah, and then she'll be like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Um, and then I'll say, "Who is that?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Like they know her, and she knows them, but she doesn't know a lot about them. And I think again to when a while back Jennifer asked where you went to college, and I didn't know.
Where I went
Now
to
I
college.
know. Uh,
Where
you
did I
went
go to
to
Where did I go to college, Paul?
you went to college at UW, University of Washington. You
True
were a
fact.
theater major,
I was a theater major.
and and you have a sister.
Yeah, I do.
All these things were things that I didn't know when she quizzed me. This was a while back. Um, oh, your middle name. Oh no, I used to know it. I don't know it anymore.
um,
Um, is your middle name Alex King? Because if
uh,
so, I
no, but I'm thinking of changing it.
let's see.
Well, don't feel
Ben.
so bad. What? It's Paul Andrew.
Oh, good. Haha. All right, we're on equal playing field now. Um, Ben. Uh, it's not Irwin. Irwin is your grandfather's name.
Irwin is my grandfather's name. Yeah,
And I know that because Irwin is also my grandfather's name. We've talked about this. That if
probably.
we had known that, we might have called Glitcher or GudeLaurance Irwin.
I
In
think
honor
Irwin is a
of our.
great name for a sketch comedy duo.
I think so too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we rebrand
We have to
when we
start
turn
over.
60.
Yep.
Yeah.
When we're old enough to be grandparents ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Exactly.
fact, it's that's on you. That's on. I don't want to put any pressure on Betty to have children, but once you become a grandfather,
Ah,
we rebrand as
yes.
a Irwin.
Okay. And we like Bill Irwin. It's spelled differently,
Spelled differently, yeah.
but still. Um, okay. Hold on. Ben David?
Give the man a cigar.
Hey, I did it. I did it. I did it. Oh my gosh, Ben, and I'm serious about this. My memory has not worked that well in a long time. It either knows stuff or it doesn't know stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like search for things and get stuff back usually. So, all right, I'm feeling good. All right, so Alex King, hat, beard, taller than normal, glasses. I believe, I want to say that I spoke to him in the green room one time.
You probably did.
It was you, me, and him in the green room, and he was doing something physical. I don't remember what it was, but I think he either had a bag with him or he had like he was doing something involving his muscles. He was holding something or carrying something. Anyway,
It's possible.
but now he's doing okay. And that is good to know because not everyone, Ben, is doing okay.
No. In
I'll
fact,
tell
a lot
you
of
two
people are
people
doing not okay.
who aren't doing okay, and I want you to tell me why they aren't doing okay, Ben. The first one, Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo not doing okay. What is troubling for Mark Ruffalo?
Does it have anything to do with his career?
In a way, but not exactly.
Does it have anything to do with politics?
It does have something to do with politics.
Is it a confluence of politics and his career.
It could be seen as that. People are speculating that it is.
So it's not like a far right group has co-opted the Hulk identity.
No, no. Although probably yes, somewhere, right? It's just a small version of it.
Yeah.
But no. Oh, and I'll tell you what. I'll throw in the second one, and the two are related in some way.
Okay.
The other person would be John Cena. John Cena.
John Cena. John Cena, I don't know a lot about. I know that he is in the Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Yeah.
But both John Cena and Mark Ruffalo had to do something for different reasons, but it was kind of the same general issue.
Did they have to boycott something or speak out against something?
The opposite, sort of. Well, okay.
They had to do something they didn't want to do.
They did boycott or speak out against something, but that wasn't the thing that caused them trouble.
Was it a public
Yes.
thing they had to do that they did not
They
want
had
to
to do
do?
something public.
That they didn't want to do.
Well, and they didn't want to do is you wouldn't know it from what they said. You might have gleaned it from either how they said it or the circumstances under which they said it.
Does this have to do with the current situation between Israel and Palestine?
In one case, it does. In the other case, it does not.
Oh.
So again, similar circumstances, but different. They had to do the same thing, but under different circumstances.
They had to denounce something or someone
that
they
and
previously
here we go.
had to work with or said something positive about.
No, you were so close.
They denounced something or someone.
Yeah, yes, but the important thing is who they had to denounce. And I guess, ooh boy, if you really wanted to twist the definition, it could be considered someone that they worked with. But that's cheating. That's like a fake riddle doing that.
It's not someone like in the Hollywood establishment that has.
No. It's well, again. See, here's the thing, Ben. I'm getting caught up on a technicality. I will say in both cases, the person who was making the statement had to denounce themselves.
Because they previously had said or did something that is now not cool.
Or they previously said or did something that was extremely cool
at the time.
And then they had to walk it back.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you.
Tell me, because I have no idea.
Mark Ruffalo had to make a public statement, or decided to make a public statement, depending on how you feel, that he was wrong in calling what had happened, the situation of describing the people of Israel as the aggressors in the Middle East conflict.
Gotcha.
specifically, and this is the thing that he got a lot of heat on for some people. He had spoken up for Palestine, right? And he
Yeah.
used that, he used that word. But when he issued his apology, he only talked about Hamas, which leads people to believe that someone who was pro-Israel talked him into that apology. So the question is, well, what on earth could John Cena have done that would have overshadowed this? Because somebody said it looks like Mark Ruffalo put a call into John Cena and asked him to take one for the team. John Cena
Did he
apologized
speak out?
in Mandarin, apologized in Mandarin to China for stating that Taiwan was a country.
All right.
As you know, China does not recognize Taiwan as a country. I think we might have even mentioned recently
yeah.
that China's problem with Tibet was one of the main things that made the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton, so again, China buys a lot of movies, buys a lot of film and movies and stuff, and so in both cases, both these guys who were thought of as being cool and oh hey, wow, they're really standing up for the people. In this case, forced to walk it back.
Do you think money had something to do with that?
Of names. What's that?
Do you think money had anything to do with their retraction?
People have suggested that, and I do not know. First, let me state, I don't know. But people have suggested that people in charge of their careers, a manager or a producer or whoever, stated that things may not be going their way if they don't walk these things back. Yeah. And we also, we do have, I almost hate to invoke this, but the one actress who was on The Mandalorian and then got kicked off because she was doing right-wing stuff.
Gina Carano.
Yeah. So, in her case, she really did talk her way out of a starring role in a franchise.
Yeah.
Because they were going to, spin off and have her own TV show. So, it could happen. They could say, oh, we were going to do 3 Hulk movies, but maybe not. That kind of thing. I don't know.
Right.
So anything on any of the
Let me pull up the Twitter. See if anybody's replied to that.
Oh, hey, by the way, did you get a notification that I had retweeted you?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a push notification. I had to log into Twitter and
Oh yeah. Look. But I just don't get retweeted that often. Is what happens. Oh wait, I did get one recently. Okay.
I saw an interesting. Here, let me quiz you on the news.
Oh yeah,
this is a story This is a story that I just saw. So
Paul's gonna get the news.
You're familiar with Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz.
Oh yes. I am familiar with that and the sordid
under investigation
of his friend
for sex trafficking. He is currently under an active investigation for sex trafficking. I saw a headline today that Matt Gaetz is considering doing something. What is Matt Gaetz considering doing?
Oh, jeez. Running for president.
That is right. You got it in one. He is considering a run for the presidency in 2024.
Man.
And you know what? He's probably going to get pretty far because America.
You know, Ben, and this is a true story. I was like, well, what's the most dipshit thing that? Oh, I don't know. Does that count as a swear? I don't. What what is the most? What's the craziest? Because here's the thing: he is one of these types of people that I mean, his the thing that his friend was doing is crazy. Have you heard about all this stuff?
Are we talking about the marijuana hand model guy or the
Oh, I don't know
other
about that.
dude?
The guy who was the tax collector.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the guy ran for tax collector, and when he got it, started a cryptocurrency thing with servers that he bought with the county money or whatever. And he actually set a building on fire with the servers because they got too hot. They couldn't handle the load of the thing he was doing.
Well, as somebody
Uh,
who has managed network servers, I can see that. You got to keep those things cool.
this is all hearsay and satire. What I'm saying right now, Ben,
And
I can't
satire.
get sued.
Okay.
Um,
Fair use.
he he had from what my understanding, he had the people that work for him get badges and guns so that they looked like cop like. Basically, yeah,
Okay.
it's all crazy.
Oh, those kinds of
Anyway,
badges.
but the story is that he flipped on his friend.
Yeah.
He got turned. So yeah, so here's the what's he going to do? He's going to double down. How will he double down? Well, obviously, run for president. Why not? Just keep on moving. The bridge is collapsing. Just keep on running
Yep.
forward. Maybe you'll make
Yep.
it to the other side before it happens. That's nuts.
He saw how
Nuts, I
well it
tell
worked
you.
out for our former president. Yeah, I heard that Congressman Gates's ex-girlfriend is going to testify against him. But and this is a joke that I saw on TV. I think it was from like Seth Meyers. But they're gonna have to wait until after prom.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Right. 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 Oh my God. Um. So yeah, a lot of really crazy stuff happening with like people will just compartmentalize. They'll compartmentalize. Okay, well this is happening, but he votes for all the things I want to have happen. Like, the I'm thinking about the last president and for stuff like that. That it's the same way that we dealt with dictators all the time. Our country and the enabling of despots and things like that. Well, sure, this guy is a train wreck, but he's gonna
Hmm.
let us build an air base here or whatever.
Yeah.
So sure, same sort of
If
thing. Oh, this guy,
if
he's
we
gonna make
remove
sure that
him, it'll destabilize the entire region.
exactly. In this case, oh, I don't want there to be any inheritance tax. So yeah, I'll vote for the
Right.
weird, you know, human trafficker for this guy. Oh, that's something I've
Mostly
been I
pro-abortion,
was
but
been watching a lot of on TikTok. There's a person who talks about human trafficking and how human trafficking. That whole thing about how drowning doesn't look like drowning. People expect you to like,
yeah.
and you have to learn that if they're just sinking slowly under the water, that's what drowning really looks like. In the same way, human trafficking, most of the time, it's someone that the person knows, family member or a boyfriend or whatever, that gets them into that situation. And the laws that are meant to combat it don't help lots of times because they incorrectly label human trafficking as prostitution and suggest that the person so there are anti-prostitution laws happening. That's number one. And then all the things that are supposed to help sex trafficking actually don't help people who are getting trafficked. It's a little crazy, but
It's almost
uh,
as if the people who are writing the laws don't understand the situation.
well, or, and this is where we bring it back, and this is why I was thinking about this guy. They do understand the
They're
situation,
in favor
and
of
they
it.
don't want any laws that are going to mess up their deal, what they've got going on.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, a lot of times the people involved in this sort of thing are people in power.
Well, Matt Gaetz was the only one to vote against a human trafficking bill.
And yeah, how does that work? Human trafficking bill. No, please do not invite him to the party.
Well, at least he'll bring some friends.
No, those aren't friends. If they're human trafficking you, they aren't your real friends. Mom, don't. This is, and I apologize. Okay, let's stop for a second because I want to get this out right away. I already apologize for that joke. It was tasteless and offensive and doesn't reflect what we hold as our values here on the GudeLaurance podcast. And I'm being serious about this. If they human traffic you, they're not really your friends, is bad. I was making a joke based on when I was being bullied at school, and my mom says if they're bullying you, they're not really your friends. And I was like, I never said they were my friends. I said I'm being bullied. Because she wants us to get along. Here's the thing, and I don't know if you've run into this, but in my family, growing up, and we're talking about my adopted family, there was this narrative that my mom was kind of clueless or not plugged in to what was going on.
This narrative that it was within your family?
Yeah. Like it was pushed a lot by, and this is my observation, but pushed a lot by my dad and my grandmother, that oh well, she doesn't get this or she doesn't understand all that. My mom is actually pretty sharp. She's college educated, and it knows about people and things and all that, but it's just when you get into a family dynamic like that where someone gets talked over a lot, where someone doesn't get given the benefit of the doubt, right? The difference between a mistake and just not knowing things and that kind of thing, it can wear on a person. And I'm lucky enough that Jennifer, my wife Jennifer, for those who don't know, it'd be weird because everybody who listens to this podcast either knows Jennifer or is her. In general, she came in as a third party and said, "What's this deal with you guys and your mom?" And the more I listened to her and the more I talked to my mom, the more I realized, yeah, she was really suffering under this weight of this family myth that she didn't know what she was talking about. And
well,
all
it's
that
also
kind of stuff.
She's part of that generation where women traditionally didn't speak up for themselves.
And I'm nodding at you. I just realized, for those who aren't on the live stream, I was nodding when Ben said that. Yeah. That is definitely a part of it.
But it's interesting how family dynamics are different in every single family. And I saw another. I was at somebody's house, and the kids were just being complete dicks to the dad. And afterwards, I'm like, what was that all about? And the person I was with, who knew this family pretty well, was like, that's normal, And I'm like, I can't imagine. And they weren't like being rude or anything, or like calling him names, but they were just being, I don't want to say insensitive either, but just like, it stemmed from like the father talking about his hobby. His hobby happened to be collecting records, and the kids were like, just Spotify everything. You don't need to go and collect all these records. Everything's available online. Everything's available on Spotify. And
all right, let's role play this.
They wouldn't hang on a sec. They wouldn't let him roll it back, and like they wouldn't let up on him. But I just wanted to scream, let the man have a hobby.
Yeah.
But it was that in that family dynamic, it was completely normal.
So I'll be that guy for just a second. So yeah, I finally got a AV cable for my turntable, so I'm able to finally hook it up to the amplifier so that I can listen to my vinyl, which
Didn't you just
I've been looking.
Didn't you just get a new computer? You have the internet, right?
Well, sure, but I mean, I've had these records for a really long time.
Why are you
Some of
spending
these,
Why are you spending so much money on that? I mean, everything's available online. I mean, you can have it on your iPod. You don't need that big turntable taking up all that space. You always talk about how you don't have enough room in this house.
and how old is the kid, and how old is the dad?
Early 20s are the kids. The dad's probably in his
Okay, yeah, I'm just
50s.
imagining having to have this conversation with Betty soon, because yeah, it's inevitable. They say. So this is Edward. You've seen Edward.
Hey,
There
dog.
he is. Oh, okay. So I'm going to show you Edward's teeth. Maybe I'm not.
All I can see is your hand. I'm sure he loves it when you do that.
You see him?
Yep. That's the thumbnail
So-
for the episode right there.
So I'm brushing Edward's teeth on a regular basis, but it just doesn't get any less stinky in there.
Are you
It's got a very
Did your
stinky
vet
mouth.
tell you that you needed to, or did Edward's vet tell you that you needed to brush his teeth?
No, it's just something that should happen with smaller dogs. I have heard in a book. I read it in a book. Oh no, okay, I'm lying. I read it on the internet, but still, it's like reading a book. I feel bad because I did a really good job. I read a book in a weekend. I was gonna say I was gonna read more, and then I started doing D&D stuff, DM prep and all that, and so I stopped reading. I started. Well, no, I'm still reading. I'm just reading D&D books. It's the same.
Do you read paper
Thing.
books or do you read electronic books?
Paper books mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do audiobooks electronically.
Yeah.
I don't use like audio cassettes and stuff.
I've not gotten into the audiobook thing. I tried, and it all stems from one instance when I was a kid, when I was in high school. I tried to, because my dad had this like John le Carré book on tape, and I had a 45-minute commute. Oh, he's a old like author, kind of Western-ish, I think, maybe political intrigue. But yeah, this book on tape. And I tried to listen to it on my drive into school, and I just found that I wasn't paying attention to it. And like,
wait, is your drive to school 45 minutes? How long?
in high school for my junior and senior years in high school, I lived 45 minutes away from school, so I had a 45-minute commute.
Oh, wait a second. Ben, here we go. Okay, you moved, but you kept going to your same school.
Yes.
Ah,
Even though I lived in a different county.
I remember.
But but since then, I've not gotten into the Audible books, just because I can't, my mind would just start to wander as I'm listening, and I'd have to constantly go back and like re-listen. My mind wanders when I physically read stuff. I find that I've scanned a few pages and nothing has made it into my brain. Just because I'm thinking of other things.
Do you listen to podcasts at all?
Very rarely. Like,
because I was going to say that's really my gateway to listening to books on tape. Was that it's like a podcast except it's just one person talking about stuff.
I'm gonna have a week in a car coming up in July, so maybe I'll try to give an Audible book a try. I do have World War Z in MP3 form, but I've already read the book.
They have multiple people reading.
Yeah,
so that'll help keep you from getting too zoned out. Maybe.
Still though,
I think. All right. Anybody write in either way?
Nobody.
Sorry, I keep checking,
chat.
but
Hang on. Nope.
Okay.
Unless I'm not included in the replies.
Oh, you should be, I would think. Well, wait. Actually, could you just go to my post and see?
Yeah, nothing.
There's a chance.
There's nothing.
Yeah. All right. Oh well.
We're not as
See,
popular as we think we are.
we gave you a chance, everybody. I just want them to know that they did have a chance to chime in if they wanted to. Oh,
Well,
have I talked to you about my pajama pants already? I probably did, right?
we talked about the wallet necklace last week.
Yes, so I got it, and it works great. Um, it's a bandolier type wallet
Right,
that I
right.
got, and it really works.
And
And it's bigger.
people can't really snatch it off your person without taking the whole person with them.
Right, exactly. Which is why a lanyard. We mentioned this. A lanyard wouldn't work because you could just rip it off,
Yeah.
or else you can get choked by it. Either way, no good. That's one reason why I'm glad I don't have to wear neckties. Oh, Memorial Day on Monday, by the way.
Yeah.
A reminder: Memorial Day, the day is to commemorate people who died in wars, not current veterans.
We have a different day for that.
Yeah. So you can thank me for my service on Memorial Day if you want to, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense. The other thing that somebody said is that the day before Memorial Day, they suggest you take a minute out of your day to think about all the people who died not in wars, like people from the Peace Corps, people who died while trying to prevent wars, basically, which I think is nice. So kind of a nice little, because they don't really have days for that. Armistice Day, sort of, but not really.
No,
So yeah,
there's no Peace Corps Day.
Exactly. So thanks to the people who try to stop there from being wars as much, I would say.
And screw those people who actively want war.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on. I've heard that before. I've heard people say, what we need is a good war. There is no good war, sir. No, not true. Even I'm not going to do it. I was going to, but
another bad joke that you'd have to apologize for.
Yeah,
that you have to walk back.
I wouldn't have had to walk it back necessarily, but it's a dumb. I'm actually. I'd be stealing it from someone. I forget who. I was going to say even a civil war isn't that great, but someone. Yeah,
there's nothing civil about it.
There was a British person who did a joke saying even their own war was civil, and I forget who it was, but I can't do that. It would be bad. Look at this guy. He's just like a tiny little dude. I was thinking about this before. If there was a person that was this size, just running around naked, and you pick them up and you're like, "Hey, buddy," and then I realized, oh, I'm talking about babies. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of babies. Is what I'm thinking of.
If a baby's running around, you just go around and pick them up and go, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, buddy. That's actually very close to what I did with Betty. I would just pick her up.
Hey, Betty.
Hey, what's going on? I remember several different things. I remember that I really hate. Swinging Betty to put her up on my shoulders and conking her head on the door frame.
Oh, jeez.
That was one. Eating pizza above her and looking down and seeing that there was a pepperoni that was sitting on top of her head was another one that I just dropped that had just fallen on her head, and she was just
didn't have the wherewithal to actually know what was going on.
Exactly. Hey, who was the photographer? And I knew his name because I used it. I used it recently in a conversation with Jennifer. Who was the photographer that took the pictures of us for Naked Ladies?
David Baum.
Yeah, David Baum. There we go. David Baum is a good photographer. I mention it because both our pictures were great, and some of my favorite pictures of Betty were taken by him.
Were those with the like the flower?
For S2.
S2, yeah.
Yeah, because he did the shoot for S2, and then so it was sugar, wasn't it? Well,
I wasn't there.
it might have been flour, but it was sugar. It was supposed to be sugar, powdered sugar, and it's just falling from the sky, and she's like eating it, and it's really good.
I
So she's
made
cool.
I made flash animations for that show to be put on our
Oh,
website, which was the one and only time I've ever made anything in Adobe Flash,
yep.
which
Adobe
no longer
Flash. People got
exists.
rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a little crazy if you ask me.
There's a different way of
Kind of
thinking
weird.
about timelines. It was I didn't really take to it all that well.
Yeah, I enjoyed. I made a Flash animation one time of a tooth because I was going to get a root canal, but instead I took that money and I got Flash instead.
Instead of your root canal.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
How are your teeth
I
doing?
I eventually lost that tooth, I think. Um, but but I didn't let it go neglected. I instead went to the Alton School of Dentistry, Southern
Mm.
Illinois University School of Dentistry in Alton. It's actually out of Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, which is weird, but their campus is in Alton. And very close to their campus, Robert Wadlow, the Alton Giant, a statue of him. Tallest
He's from
man.
Alton. Robert
Yep,
Wadlow. Yeah, I know who
he
that
was
is.
indeed. And Ben, you and I both know that one of his shoes can be found in the basement of the Pike Place Market.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should go down there and look at it.
In the
If it's
basement,
still there, it probably is.
in like one of
Yeah, you
those,
know,
like in the magic shop or something.
well, it's near the magic shop. It's a display that they had at Pike Place Market
Ah.
for a while. Oh man,
I
Ben,
actually
I
have
tell you
not.
what,
I've not been in the market since the pandemic started.
oh really?
Yeah, haven't gone down there at all.
Wow, that's well, I guess that makes sense. Oh, hey, speaking of the pandemic, here's some news. Those who read my Twitter account already know this, but I go to Deerberg's. It's a local grocery store. And they have changed their sign that says that if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer have to wear masks in their store. And I felt like I was still going to wear a mask, because as long as I'm wearing a mask, as long as I'm not wearing a mask and their employees have to, I feel like there's a classist thing there. But now their employees, if they're fully vaccinated and they show that they're fully, they have to show their vaccination card to their supervisor and get a written waiver and stuff like that. They don't have to wear their masks either. And now a lot of the employees aren't wearing masks, so I feel okay not wearing mine.
What kind of a store is Deerberg's?
Grocery store,
Ah.
a large grocery store. Also, I'm licking everything,
But I'm vaccinated,
but
so it's okay.
I don't do it when they see me, so it's fine.
Don't do it when anybody's watching.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ben. Uh, I'm I'm eating a lot of fruits and vegetables now. It's
Good.
mostly what I eat. I I s- I kind of cheated just a little bit and had an uncrustable, which was really good.
Which is a pre-made
But
sandwich without any crust, right?
that's right. It's made by the Smuckers company,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a little treat for myself. But um, so the reason the way that I decided to get on this diet this time is people who practice yoga, right, have these three different types of food, and I can't remember what they're called, but there are three different categories, right? One are like the most nourishing good foods for you, which are like fruits and vegetables and things. And the next one are ones that are, kind of bad for you, like fish and black tea and stuff like that. And then there are the ones that are super bad for you, like fried foods and things like that. There are three different types. And so I said to Jennifer, yeah, I'm going to go on a yogi diet. And she said, what's a yogi diet? And I instantly was like, I got her. And I said, mostly picnic baskets.
Hey,
And
boo boo.
and she was like, what? And then I had to say it again. And eventually she got it.
You know, a
And I
joke
realized
is
that
awesome when you
that
have to repeat it.
the reason she didn't get it at first is because she loves me and wanted to give me the benefit of the doubt. But no, I had to point out later on that it was funny and that everyone likes me. So that worked out.
You have to point that out.
Yeah,
Otherwise, she's not
it's
going to believe it.
so obvious that I have to point it out myself. Close to it, not quite. Almost got there, didn't get there. Ricky J. R.I.P. a legend. All right, what was that, Ben?
So fantastic, I am forced to point it out myself.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
So I see you're looking at something.
I'm monitoring everything.
Oh, nice.
Like over here, I got you on the big screen via Zoom. I got my streaming software here, right in the middle. Over here, I have the YouTube webpage where we're streaming, and I've got the Google Voice page up and email.
Is anybody watching the stream, by the way?
We have one person.
Hey, one person.
We
Hello.
always just seem to have one person. I have seen this. Well, I mean, when I first started streaming, I thought, well, maybe that one person, maybe that's just me showing, I count on the back end of YouTube. Yeah. But I have seen it go down to 0 before. So
okay, well, there you are.
I think there is maybe one person watching.
Maybe it's Alex King.
Maybe it's Alex King.
If you are watching,
we hope you're doing okay.
To hear you're doing okay.
Maybe it's a friend of the show, Steven.
Yeah, it could be Steven. And yeah, I should say that he was doing okay at the time that he answered Betty's question.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe he is not okay. Oh, gosh.
Sunday morning.
If Alex King is now dead, I apologize. That would be horrible if our weaponized podcast actually started affecting people that we really actually know rather than just random celebrities.
Yes.
Which, by the way, R.I.P. Eric Carl, the Hungry Caterpillar guy.
The very hungry caterpillar, yeah.
Oh, the very hungry caterpillar. Sorry. I was thinking of Hungry Hippos.
Hungry
Look,
Hippos.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Look, this is not the quality of joke that we try to do on this show. I did no way meant to mock Hungry Hippos or the very hungry caterpillar, both of which I really enjoy the way that he does his artwork. He cuts things out and he makes little collage. It's good. It's not your standard just cartoony artwork for children's.
It's an iconic look for a pretty ubiquitous children's book. I mean, everybody knows that book. It's like they.
I think Betty has a pillowcase based on.
It's like they handed it out at the hospital when you gave birth.
Yeah. Here you are. Here's your copy.
And there's a monster at the end of this book.
Oh my God, I love There's a Monster at the end of this book. So much.
What if the monster at the end of the book was the very hungry caterpillar just ate Grover?
The monster at the end of this book is me. It is, though.
I'm a monster.
For Grover. Yeah, I really like just a shout out for no reason to the Elephant and Piggy books. They have a book called We Are in This Book, or We Are in a Book. Sorry, Elephant and Piggy, We Are in a Book. Gave me sort of the same feeling as the monster at the end of this book. Sort of, in both cases, a sort of Philip K. Dick reality warping children's book, which I appreciate very much.
What are you doing? Turning another page.
Did you not? Okay. I am now. I'm not going to. No. Oh boy, the Muppet Show. Not going back there. Not. I'm sorry. What?
Was it when I was with you that we came up with a lost poster for Grover. Last seen near.
Oh my god. I don't know. That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I hope I was at least adjacent to that when that was thought up because I like that a lot.
I can't remember
Oh,
if that's something that like we came up with or if it's something that I saw that I just think I came up with, but instead I actually saw it
that is
once.
a problem.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this before about there was a story that I used to tell. I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I'll tell it again because I like this so much. There was a story I used to tell where uh, I was stuck at somebody's house in a snowstorm, and I needed to get back downtown, so I ordered a pizza. And when the pizza guy arrived, I said, "Can I get a ride back to your pizza place?" And he was like, "Okay." And so then I ended up back in the pizza place, and that's how I got, you know, out of out of the snow thing. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, "No, that didn't happen to you. That happened to me. I told you about it." And
Jeez.
it freaked me out for a really long time. I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
I could have sworn." And then I thought about it. I'm like, "Well, is it possible that this person told me about this, and then when I was in a similar situation, I did the same thing, and that's why I remember doing it?"
Yeah.
Very possible.
Very
But
possible.
who's to say for sure? It's all weird in
Well,
here.
once we figure out how to map memories and retrieve old ones, then they'll be able to download your brain meats and do a search.
Man, I gotta say, the thing that I really don't want to see happen, the eradication of memories or the implantation of new ones. When that happens, all bets are off. It's going to be crazy.
No Eternal Sunshine meets Total Recall.
I mean, we're already at the point now where, uh, with deep fakes and stuff like that, you can't trust video evidence
Right.
as well as you could. But I mean, it's the same way with photographs, right? When people were editing photographs, uh, like in Russia when they would like Photoshop somebody out of a picture
Yeah.
before it was Photoshop, where they just, move it. That was kind of the same thing. It's sort of the same. But imagine, if you will, eventually not knowing if you actually hung out with someone or not. You remember hanging out with them, but you don't. I mean, we do have that thing, right, where we remember dreams and we can tell the difference between a dream and reality most of the time,
Yeah.
but we can't always, you know? So are we going to that's the thing, is that I feel like an implanted memory will have a sense of unreality to it. We won't be able to put our finger on it, but we'll be able to tell the difference between an implanted one and a regular memory, just like we know the difference between a dream
Yeah.
and reality.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, once it's implanted, what's the difference between it and a dream that you had one time?
Maybe that's what
But
implanted memories are. They just feel like dreams, and like dreams, they don't stick around. They
yeah,
flitter off into the wind.
it's really possible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that feeling where a word is on the tip of your tongue, for instance, right? That might be what an implanted memory will feel like.
Yeah.
There's there's a the torture, Ben. Even worse than implanting a memory, implanting a half memory that the person will never be able to fully recall, but won't be able to forget. Oh, imagine. And
The
with that,
horror. The horror.
yes. So I did a good job. I didn't call Betty this whole time. Now here's the
Yeah.
question: are we going to clip the front off of this, or are we going to
No.
go
I'll keep the whole
to?
thing.
All right. So there you go. You're lucky. You got to hear a little behind the scenes at the very beginning, and now it's time for us to go, my friends.
Indeed.
That's right. The podcast is over. I believe this is number 276.
275.
Oh, I was so close.
So close.
It's 275. Oh, right. That's right. 275, also known as Alex King, is doing okay.
Doing okay.
And Alex, I hope you're still doing okay wherever you are. And for all people, including Alex King, until we talk to you next time, keep it wrong.
Keep it wrong, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. And there's no room tone because the air conditioning already cut off.
Maybe
I have
I'll
to search for the air conditioning.